Hi everyone, how you doing? We have a lot of breaking news in the Bharath case, and like I said, I told you guys it was going to be a wild ride. It is just incredible, and I already got myself into some trouble tweeting. I'll tell you why in a minute. I have a new Twitter account for the true crime, so if you want to follow me there, I'm going to be uploading videos there, so that you'd have another way to tell they are going off. It's normally on my other Twitter account, the Mommy Ramblings, but I have now one that's True Crime Chat with Mommy Ramblings. I'll put it in the video description so you see the link. But I'm going to be doing tweets while the case goes on. Like today, if you go back, you'll see my tweets were coming out live as the case was going. Let's see what's happened today. Krystal was not testifying today, but her testimony was relayed through the CBI agents. Patrick arrived in court with his bulletproof vest on, his ballistic vest, right? The judge ordered that he be unhandcuffed so that he could take notes, which he was apparently doing, looking down. He didn't make eye contact, he didn't show any emotion, nothing like that. Mama Frazee was there. She took the stand but did not say a word. And then there was a judgment on whether or not she should be called as a witness or she could be a witness. And all the witnesses were sequestered. So they were outside of the courtroom. They didn't want anyone testifying with any other witnesses in the room. And the decision was, it seems to be that she's still vying as a witness because they put her outside after they talked to her. She didn't say anything. There is a belief that it's the metal pole, which I'll get to in a minute, that, and some other things that she did, like, I'll go into that, why she has ties to the case as a witness, and maybe more. Okay, so let's get to the crux of the case right now. The agents for the CBI that testified, this is some of the stuff that came out today. Okay? All right. According to Krystal, Patrick's first way to problem solve. Oh, I was telling you about the trouble I've gotten into. So as I go into this a little more, there was most got a lot of likes, got a lot of retweets on my tweet, but I had one that respectfully disagreed with me, and that's fine. It's fine. But she had Krystal's name in parentheses, a whole bunch of them. So doesn't that mean like I'm hugging you, Krystal? Isn't that kind of? And I'm thinking like, okay, after all she just admitted here, and she kind of jumped on me a little bit and said, when I said, and this is my hashtag if you see it, scared. Caught, not scared. Because I think this whole scared business, Krystal just came up with like the Jodi Arias thing, okay, because it was convenient. Which could be another hashtag. Convenient excuses. Excuses of convenience. I just think of these things, but anyway, so I'm out there. If you want to, you can type in some of mine. If you type in the hashtag caught, not scared. A lot of them were really liking that. She said, I disagree, she was scared. She's scared, she was fear of her life and her child's life. Okay, let me tell you what she did, and then we could talk about whether she was scared for her life, okay? And I realize I'm not going to agree with everyone, and that's fine. If we don't want to agree, that's fine. But let me go through this now, okay? So Patrick is thinking, and this is weeks prior to what we'll get to, the November Thanksgiving weekend thing, okay? When this plan was carried out. Back, I believe it started around September 22nd. Remember that lawyer friend, those lawyers that were saying this? And then she said, oh no, it's all taken care of, it's all good. It's all good, it's all good, so it's all good, man. Which reminds me, if you better call Saul, there's a guy on there tweeting, and he's inviting you to a Facebook group with Saul Goodman. You know, Saul Goodman from Better Call Saul. And I'm like, I don't think you're the real Saul Goodman. Not that Saul Goodman's real, but you know what I mean. Okay. Anyway, she says, okay, he starts with this plan that it's going to be death by a caramel macchiato from Starbucks. And how that's going to happen is that Krystal is going to introduce herself as a new neighbor in the area with children, and maybe they could have a play date and all of this stuff, get to know her, and you're going to bring her that caramel macchiato that you've drugged with narcotics that you either carry in your purse, you get from the hospital, or that you have somehow, maybe Ambien, whatever, you know, she was going to drug it and bring it there. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Krystal gets that caramel macchiato, and she has her aunt. Now, I understand, maybe she has an aunt close in age. Look, I have a niece that's 2 years younger than me. I have nephews and nieces that are 4 years younger than me. I have a lot of nieces and nephews that are close to my age. I get it. But even if my niece is like, hey, you want to go out? I'm going to go to Starbucks. I'm going to get a caramel macchiato. I'm going to drug it. Then I'm going to have you drive me over in your car. We have to take your car. I don't want my car to be noticed. You're going to park maybe just a block away. And then I'm just going to run out with caramel macchiato, and I'll be back in a few. So crazy. I think she had her take her with the lead pipe. Oh, I haven't gone into the lead pipe yet. Okay, well, there was one where she parks somewhere and walks, and it might be the caramel macchiato one, okay? But when she says she didn't drug the caramel macchiato, but she doesn't go into details of whether Kelsey drank that, okay? Could it be that she did drug that caramel macchiato and Kelsey just, I'll tell you the truth, okay? Tell you the truth. You know I'm a germaphobe. If somebody I don't know, even if they tell me they moved in next door and you're bringing me, here's a caramel macchiato for you, I'm going to be like, oh, thanks. You know what? Probably going to save that for later. Too much caffeine. I'm just, yeah. I'm just going to, but I will have that in the morning. And then as soon as they leave, okay, I don't know who the heck they are coming to my door, and she probably was crazy looking and acting, right? If you're planning on drugging someone, I don't think you're acting, unless you're a true sociopath, psychopath, and you have no emotions and you're able to act, but it didn't sound like it. It didn't sound like it from what we'll go through. So you'd be like, oh, thanks for the caramel macchiato. Okay. So I'm not 100% certain that, as Krystal said, she didn't drug the caramel macchiato because she didn't want to hurt her. That doesn't jive, okay? Here we go again with, I want to know, you didn't want to hurt her. What were you going there for with the caramel macchiato? Why did you even attempt this if you didn't want to hurt her? Of course you weren't going to hurt her, you were going to kill her. You were supposed to be killing her. Does this seem wrong to you guys? Okay. I think she took that and threw it down the sink. I think it could also be she didn't put enough of whatever it was. Maybe Kelsey got sleepy, fell asleep, but was fine the next day, right? Ooh, that caramel macchiato. If she did that would just put me right out, and usually caffeine keeps me awake. Okay, so a lot of things could have happened there. Well, anyway, when she says she can't do it, okay, but again, whose word are we taking? The word of an honest person? And then somebody's going to jump all over me. Oh my gosh, we shouldn't do that because she could be honest. She's not honest. We see she's not honest because she was deceptive. And then somebody say, oh, well, she was deceptive and she lied because she was scared. Okay. I'll go into that in a minute. Someone's going to jump on me regardless, but whatever. She calls or messages Frazee and tells him, I couldn't do it. I didn't want to hurt her. That's what she allegedly says to him. And he gets angry. He gets angry. But he gives her another chance, okay? All right, we've got time. I'm going to need you to use a pipe this time. The noise coming through. Got some noise coming through. So he gives her another chance. He says, this time I'm going to do it with a pipe. You're going to take a pipe there. I think this is when she gets the aunt. Okay, like the aunt's okay being an accomplice to the murderer. Somebody will say, well, maybe the aunt didn't know. No. Krystal's just getting out of the car with the pipe. I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay. The company you keep, the aunt's totally fine with this. Ooh, this is some excitement. Or what is she thinking? Okay. So Krystal goes there in this car with the pipe that he gives her. And he tells her to help her out, hit her in the back of the head because there'll be less blood when you hit her in the back of the head. He knows this, I guess, from, forensic studies or whatever, if he's studying crime scenes or whatever, who knows. She can't do it with the pipe, okay? He says, gain her trust, whatever, but she couldn't do it with the pipe. So she calls him or texts him again, I couldn't do it again, He's angry, but he's going to give her a third chance. This time with an aluminum baseball bat. Okay, and he tells her, now I'm just trying to see how this could have been executed with the aluminum baseball bat, because that's kind of large. Where was she going to put that, like down her pant leg or something? How was she going in there? Because she didn't want her doing it to her outside where everybody could see. How is she going to get the baseball bat in there? It's not like they had boys or, I bought a present for your son. But, it just, how was the baseball bat going in there? That's what I want to know. But anyway, he tells her just keep swing that bat, swing it like crazy, just keep swinging it until it's done, right? She can't do that either. So now she says he's really mad at her, okay? And he says something like, well, okay, you can't do this, I'm just going to have to get this done myself. Now, around the 22nd, we have a call from Patrick to Miss Krystal saying that she needs to get down here right away. She's got something to do, okay? And by this, he believes you've got to clean this mess up, is what he said. And by that, she says, well, I guess then he killed her. And I got to go down and clean the mess up. So she starts gathering up supplies, some things she got from the hospital to keep, fluids and stuff off of her, some protective clothing, some booties for her shoes, and we have somebody noisy going in the ice maker. Some booties for her shoes, a hairnet, whatever. She got the box of gloves that she claims she had because she bought a new house, so she got the whole box of gloves. And the gloves are not the most worrisome thing. I've got 2 boxes of gloves over here. That's just because I'm a germaphobe.
Would you like a glass of limeade?
That's okay, I have coffee. So, yeah, that's not the most troublesome thing. And I might have a hazmat suit, two of them, but that's just because it's me. Most people don't have that stuff around, just like that. So she got some stuff from the hospital. She got bleach. An array of things to clean up a crime scene. And she goes over there, and she said she was cleaning for 3-4 hours. The bathroom, she claims, had blood on every single wall, on like all of the surfaces. She got rid of what she couldn't clean. So Kelsey's mother later goes there on the 6th or 5th of December, said there was a bath mat missing. And she's cleaning. She's cleaning. He's giving her some direction, telling her to look in an air vent. She finds a tooth in there. He says something like something has to be replaced, a square. I think he means a square tile. Maybe he bashed it. I don't know. But that would go along with what I heard, because in the beginning, when the CBI agents went there, they said there wasn't evidence of anything really happening. Like, it wasn't a big, bloody, messy scene. Though Kelsey's mother saw blood around some appliances, around a little bit of the toilet in the bathroom, by a fireplace screen. I think there was some more. And then they did some testing with the luminol. But had that not been there, were they not going to test that? Now, cadaver dogs hit outside the house between, like, the two, I think she has 2 cars in the driveway somewhere there. There are some still shots of Patrick from a neighbor's camera going in and out, but we don't hear anything about Krystal going in and out, or any cameras getting that. We don't hear anything about anything like that. We do have some surveillance from the Safeway by a furniture store that shows Kelsey in the car going back to her apartment, her townhouse. Now, so Patrick's on the phone saying, make sure you get Kaylee's toys because they're covered with blood. You've got to clean those. So she's cleaning the toys. She said there were large footprints all over the place. She was cleaning those. The bathroom had to be completely clean. She's using the bleach. She put Windex on the windows. She's cleaning up all this blood. She's putting everything in trash bags. That, her cleaning supplies. She said that Patrick had tried cleaning up the mess with baby wipes. So for someone that is seemingly an expert on where to hit a person for the least amount of blood, he is not so well versed on cleanup methods and didn't realize that just baby wipes were not going to cut this. So she's got to throw away, and then he left the baby wipes and stuff out because she had to get rid of that too. So she got rid of all of this stuff. She did borrow a friend's car that had expired plates. Okay, she didn't want to be seen in her car, and I believe she parked. What she did, this is the time, yes, she parked away, and I'm thinking like she's carrying all this hazmat stuff and gloves into nobody saw her, we don't know. She's in there cleaning like a lunatic, and after that, she goes to Sonic. Which I questioned, okay? Not because Sonic is a terribly bad place to eat, it's probably not the healthiest place to eat, though they do have, I think, the better milkshakes that are made with real ice cream and stuff and not a lot of chemicals like other places. But I think after 8 o'clock you get a special deal on them. I don't know, we don't have a Sonic very close to us, but I think there are some deals on that. Anyway, if she is so scared, now maybe somebody that doesn't know she's pregnant would say, oh well, she's pregnant so she's got it. But if you're so terrified that the only reason you're doing this is because you think he's going to do something to your daughter, which he said something like, sometimes kids go missing off the playground. You never know. Someday your daughter could be on the playground and 1 minute she couldn't be. Okay, just don't bring her to the playground, go to the police station. But this is supposedly, she was so scared, right? So scared. Yet she's not scared to possibly be caught and go to jail as an accomplice, and her kids wouldn't have a mother. She's not so scared that she couldn't have gone to the police in the beginning and saved Kelsey's life. Be a hero, not an accomplice. That's another one of my hashtags. She could have been a hero, not an accomplice. But now that she's in that crime scene, she's not scared at all about that. And she goes to Sonic. And somebody tweeted to me when I said that, because a lot of people liked it, like, how could you go to Sonic? And you always have to have that one person, because you do, that says, well, it's kind of no biggie for her. She's a nurse. She sees blood all the time. It wouldn't take away her appetite. This is not just seeing blood. This is someone that was murdered at the hands of this person that you love, because she said she did this because she loved him, and she was afraid. Maybe she's a stress eater. Could be, but usually when I'm really, really nervous, like the last thing I'm thinking about is eating. It's like the first thing that goes. So anyway, she goes to Sonic, and then Patrick took the body in a black bag, and he put that body somewhere, I guess on the ranch. It's called Nash Ranch, right? And he said the hardest thing he had to do was, when he killed her with the baseball bat, and he was telling Krystal things to pick up from the house, and one of the things was a sweater. You've got to take that sweater, got to get that out. He had Kelsey put the sweater over her face, I guess tie the two arms behind her, because he wanted her to smell a candle to see if she could guess which scent it was. But he never had a candle. He just started bashing her repeatedly with the baseball bat. And so he's got this stuff at the Nash Ranch, and he said that the hardest thing to do was to really murder her and then go home and celebrate Thanksgiving dinner. And I'm just thinking now, did she eat at Sonic and then go have Thanksgiving dinner? Because it looks like after Thanksgiving dinner, Krystal went out with him to help him get the body. They put it on a stack of hay. They put the bags from the cleanup, that had stuff in them that she couldn't clean, or just trash, paper towels, whatever, cleanup things. That kind of stuff, and they put it all there, and they used an accelerant like gasoline, and they had a fire, and Ma Frazee goes out and she's looking at the fire. Ma Frazee also has something to do with the metal pipe that Krystal left at the gate when she said she couldn't go through with it. She just took the metal pipe and left it at that gate. I think that's the one you see Frazee closing, and then her aunt drove her back. I don't know where she was. So we got that. And so Ma Frazee's kind of connected here, that she knew what was going on here, okay? So that's why that's why she was questioned in the beginning, and that's why she's being called as a witness, and now they're deciding, but I don't think the judge made a firm decision today, but he just wanted her sequestered in case they do. She's just, mum up there, not saying anything. She's taking the fifth. Okay, so now she says Krystal says, those little drops of blood and stuff that were noticed by Kelsey's mom, she left those intentionally. Now this is another thing that I think she's doing because probably she heard from Patrick somewhere along the line, you stupid idiot, you couldn't even clean up the apartment right? You couldn't even clean up the townhouse right? You left the drops of blood? Oh my gosh. But she claims now to investigators she intentionally left those blood spots. She intentionally left them because she wanted them to find them so that they could find out what happened. So before the fact, when she had a chance to save this woman's life, she really wasn't concerned with leaving clues or anything. I mean, she told her friend, but then her friend, gave her the come talk to these lawyers at my law office. They want to talk to you. No, it's fine. Okay? So she could have saved her life. Could have been a hero, not an accomplice. But she doesn't. However, when she's cleaning the crime scene, then is the time she wants you to think that she's leaving this little trace evidence. Leaving the little trace evidence because she's such a good and honorable person. She wants to tip the investigators off, keep that trail. Okay? She also claims that when she had Kelsey's cell phone and she left from Patrick's ranch to make her way home to Idaho, that she turned it on intermittently, even though she knew it would be linked to her phone, because she was trying to have a trail for the investigators, trying to make it easy for them to find out what happened, instead of just going right away to the police station on any of the times that you engaged in an act to poison her, beat her with a lead pipe or a baseball bat. Any of those times back, you could have done something while she was still alive, but now that this occurred, now you're leaving these little clues, like little breadcrumbs, like Hansel and Gretel, right? And she's going to lead the investigators with this, even though she wasn't forthcoming when they questioned her, because if she wanted them to find this and then they start to question her, they said she wasn't forthcoming with anything. I guess until they told her, we have enough evidence to put you away for a very long time, and here's going to be, this is your plea deal, and then she was forthcoming. Yeah. But wants us to believe that intentionally she left all that stuff. And, you know, I don't know what she told Patrick about why she left that blood. She probably just said, I got so flustered, I was so scared, I didn't know, I thought I got it all, right? But she wants the investigator, he probably kept throwing that in her face, because she left the evidence there for her mother to come and find. It appears the police didn't even notice that. That's what seems from today, I don't know, that it was her mother that called on the 5th. Or the 6th, when she went to Kelsey's house and noticed the bath mat missing and noticed some blood, and then they put the luminol on the refrigerator. They saw some spots and different things. Okay. Now, Patrick's brother works for the police force, not in that town, I don't know what it is, but he's estranged. Yet, I believe he was at the Thanksgiving dinner, because that mother technically owns that ranch, even though they keep calling it Patrick's. And he's not estranged from the brother, but not from the mother, but he's estranged from the brother. So yeah, that's another component and everything. And what else do we have here? So apparently Krystal takes investigators, after the fact, to this spot where they burned what is allegedly Kelsey's body. And she says that, I guess after the fire was out, Patrick said he was going to scoop up any remains and get rid of it. And they could tell an accelerant was used, but we really don't know a lot about that. They are looking for information leading to the recovery of Kelsey's body. They just put that up again on their site. The police, it's $25,000 for information. So $25,000 reward for information leading to the recovery of Kelsey's body. So that would be something that if someone knows something, and maybe they're going to come forward and say something, because right now there's a lot of people worried that just Krystal is the only evidence they have to this, okay, her word, and they want to find something substantial. Now, there was camera footage of Patrick moving with this black tote in the back, which supposedly contains Kelsey's body, that he brought back to the ranch and then set on fire, along with the baseball bat, like I said, and the other things that they used. But, and then we have this Krystal's testimony, but Patrick's not budging, okay? He's keeping his head down, he's writing notes, he's going to maintain that not guilty, and that scares a lot of people because they want some really good evidence to link him to this. And that is where we're at. Let me see if there's any other big developments. I might have forgotten things or made a tiny mistake here and there, but that's a lot of information to go through. Okay, so Thanksgiving Day is when he beat her with the baseball bat, as I said. So the coffee drink incident happened in September. So this is, like I said, there's a long timeline for somebody to do the right thing. If you really didn't want to hurt her with the tainted coffee drink, well, then shouldn't you have told someone? Okay, so it says police searching the home of a missing Colorado woman initially found no evidence of foul play, but later discovered traces of blood belonging to Kelsey Berreth, and those traces of blood were discovered by her mother and father. So that's scary, right? That's scary. Tests later determined that the blood found on the toilet, the exterior of the bathtub, a trash can, an electrical outlet, door hinges, and a towel rack belonged to Berreth, but it was all missed. Okay? Prosecutors have filed additional charges against the Colorado man charged with the murder and solicitation to commit murder. So Patrick Frazee, the additional charges accuse Frazee of tampering with a deceased body and 2 charges of committing a crime of violence, which would let the state request a harsher penalty upon conviction. Now, when she had the cell phones and she turned it on intermittently to have it go off in different towns along the way, intentionally realizing, as she says, that it would be linked to her phone, she sent those texts to Patrick and one to Kelsey's employer, telling her that she wasn't going to be in for the week. And she maintains that Frazee was telling her that Kelsey was a very abusive mother, that his daughter was brought there sometimes with burns, physically abusive, burns on her tops of her hands, the bottoms of her hands, as if, she wasn't watching her, that she was burned with a curling iron, she said, and that Kelsey was seeking rehab for an alcohol addiction and depression. He made the whole 9 yards, just a terrible mother. She was inattentive. She would leave her daughter with him. So he told her all this. Okay. Now, just as we said, Chris Watts is telling NK all the things about Shanann, just as most men or women, if they're cheating on the other spouse, they're not going to be like, oh, my husband, they're so wonderful. They're going to say the worst things, right? Well, we have Patrick now trying to get this Krystal to do this murder for him, so he's going to tell her the most strong things he could to maybe make her hate her, so that, or think that she's going to kill the daughter if she doesn't kill her, instead of just going to the police, because they couldn't find one substantiated report, police report, nothing with Department of Social Services, nothing to substantiate any type of abuse claim. Now remember, he was going through that custody thing. Wouldn't that would be the first thing if he wanted custody, to go and file a claim of abuse if that was indeed happening. So he's another liar. Not abuse. Caught, not abuse. We need that hashtag. Okay. So he was telling, what's her name? Krystal, that these K's, now I'm going to probably mess these up sometime. There's just too many K's and stuff. So at 8:57, Patrick Frazee arrives in the courtroom. He's wearing his ballistic vest and shackles and a green striped jumpsuit that we've seen him in before. Nothing new there. 9:02, the state had added 3 counts in addition, which I told you about those added accounts. The state has named CBI agent Greg Slater, Woodland Park police officer Chris Adams, and Michael Dalton as witnesses. Krystal Kenney, the woman who pleaded guilty to tampering with evidence, is not a witness. The defense called Sheryl Frazee, Patrick Frazee's mother, to the stand to testify. She refused and exercised her Fifth Amendment. District Attorney Dan May said Sheryl Frazee would know about a defendant showing up to her house on the day Berreth was last seen. However, Judge Scott Sells ruled in favor of Frazee's refusal to testify. Prosecutors are now calling Chris Adams, Woodland Park Police Commander Chris Adams, to the stand. Adams has been working on the Bharath case since she was reported missing by her mother on December 2nd. Okay, at 9:35 a.m., prosecutors played a recorded phone call of a conversation between Frazee and a Woodland Park police officer. In the call, he said they had a heart-to-heart about their relationship. It was not working out, and that they wanted to go their separate ways. He also mentioned that she wanted her keys and her gun back, and he said she wanted space and that he'd respect her wishes. They did not agree to a custody arrangement on that call, and he then told the officer that Kelsey texted him on November 25th and that he got a message the following Friday that her telephone expired. Frazee went on to say that she considered moving to Pueblo, where she worked at DAS Aviation in Pueblo. Frazee said she moved frequently after arriving in Colorado in May of 2016, and that She had lived in Colorado Springs first and then moved to Grand Junction before eventually finding a job with DAS in Pueblo. Frazee said, we lived separate lives for so long, and he also claimed that the couple's exchanges of their 1-year-old daughter were inconsistent. Okay, so this is his Chris Watts. We had an emotional conversation. It wasn't working out. We lost that spark. We were moving in different directions. She wanted her gun. She wanted this. He's going to make it seem like she was just going off to find herself, like we talked about the other day, right? Yeah. So right after that, Adams said Frazee told him he gained custody of his daughter on November 22nd and that Frazee never reported Berreth missing in the 10 days after she was last seen. He thought she was just finding herself, probably, right? Adams recounted combing through surveillance video of Bharath leaving the Safeway store. He said he saw her vehicle on a Walmart security camera video from the Williams Furniture store, and eventually he accessed a video from one of Bharath's neighbors. The video showed Frazee at Bharath's townhouse. Her townhouse became the focus of the investigation leading up to Frazee's arrest in December. A still frame from the surveillance camera showed Frazee, Berreth as well, as the flowers that she picked up in Safeway in the front door of her home around 1 p.m. on November 22nd. When asked if he was aware of another video showing Frazee there at 3:36, Adams said yes. Adams said the last text Frazee received from Berreth's phone was, "Do you even love me?" which was sent by Krystal. Adams obtained a warrant for data from Bharath and Frazee's phones. Adams said both phones were near the townhouse on November 22nd, but later that day, they pinged near Divide. That evening, they pinged west of Cripple Creek. Adams said the ping showed the phones were together, and he also mentioned the data showed Frazee called Krystal Kenney and his mother later that day on the November 22nd. Ma Frazee again. Adams said both phones pinged off the tower near Frazee's property in Florissant on the morning of November 23rd. And on November 24th, Adams said texts were exchanged between both phones near Florissant and Cripple Creek. Adams said Bharath's phone pinged off of a tower near Grand Junction, near Salt Lake City and Gooding, Idaho on November 25th. That's when she was bringing them up. Adams said Frazee also talked with Krystal Kenney on November 24th. Adams said Kenney was Frazee's former girlfriend. Adams said she was in Colorado on November 24th. He pointed out Kenney's vehicle on surveillance video at the Sonic Drive-In in Woodland Park and at a Conoco station in Florissant, where they saw them together at this Conoco station. Adams went on to say that Kenney's phone pinged off of the same tower that Bharath's phone did about 1 minute after Bharath's phone did. Adams said data showed both phones were traveling together. Then the state showed more stills from a surveillance video at a credit union location to the courtroom of Patrick Frazee, and one of those showed him and the other showed a black tote in his truck. Adams said the black tote played an important role in this case. The defense is now asking Adams questions in cross-examination, and Frazee's attorney asked Adams if he was an expert on cell phone data and towers, and Adams said he was not. The attorney asked if Adams knows where the towers are in Grand Junction, Salt Lake City, and Gooding, and Adams said he didn't know how many there were or the exact locations. Adams is now talking about his first search of Bharath's townhouse on December 3rd. He said he found a Safeway receded side, but he didn't find any signs of a struggle, bloodstains, or signs of cleaning inside. Adams said he also logged into her computer, Kelsey's, and logged into her Facebook account, and he said he changed her password to access the account without permission. Adams said he returned to the townhouse on the 4th for crime analysis from the CBI, and they didn't discover anything to determine the townhouse was a crime scene. They searched the area with cadaver dogs, but they didn't find her. Adams said he found out there might be blood. This is when the parents called. inside the townhouse on December 6th. After Berreth's family allowed a search inside the home, he admitted that he missed the blood, and the cadaver dogs did as well. Though it says the cadaver dogs are not trained to smell blood, they're trained to smell flesh. The defense asked Adams about the surveillance video from the neighbor's townhome, and the defense asked Adams if they had photos of Frazee leaving the townhome with the black tote. Adams said the police did not have those photos. The defense also asked if police knew how Frazee carried his tools around, and Adams said he did not. So they're going to say that black coat is his tools, okay? Frazee's lawyers asked Adam about his interviews with Frazee's brother, Sean Frazee. Adams and Sean arrived at Thanksgiving with his family about 2:30 p.m. and Patrick arrived later. Sean said he didn't notice anything out of the ordinary. The defense claims Sean was a member of law enforcement and would have noticed suspicious behavior. Unless your brother acts like that, unless you're estranged, you don't even want to look at your brother. Maybe it's the kind of thing like you put the cereal box in front of your face. Don't ask me why I know that. The state was then questioning Adams again, and Adams explained that the neighbor surveillance system is through Arlo surveillance. So now we can have a bunch of videos about what the Arlo surveillance saw. People that are experts on that. We're going to get ready for that one, guys. The neighbor's camera has 7 days of storage, and that camera would activate with a motion sensor. The camera then sends a still to the owner from the clip. Prosecutors asked Adams if Sean and Patrick had an estranged relationship, and Adams said that they do. The state also asked Adams to explain his actions with Berreth's computer and her Facebook page, and Adams said he couldn't have gotten permission to access her Facebook profile. He said he didn't post anything and did not see any previous activity or information about booked flights, and Adams also said he saw nothing to indicate that she had left on a trip, and he said her purse, keys, and phone were missing, but her vehicles were still parked at the townhome. And the court took a little 15-minute recess, and then the court was back in session. Slater said he was brought in on the 4th day of the Woodland Park Police's investigation into Berreth's disappearance to help look for her. He said his team wasn't able to find credible evidence that Berreth had been spotted since November 22nd. Slater was asked about the searches near Berreth's townhome with cadaver dogs, and he said that the dog alerted on the driver's side rear bumper of Berreth's Toyota Corolla, but the dog hadn't hit anywhere else on the vehicle. He also said that there weren't any tracks through the snow that was on the ground. Slater said that he talked with Kelsey Berreth's parents, Clint and Sheryl Lee Bharath. Sheryl Berreth said she talked with her daughter for about 5 minutes around 9 a.m. on November 22nd. Sheryl Berreth said Kelsey told her she didn't get home until about 4 a.m. after meeting with Frazee the previous night to check on cattle. Slater said that Sheryl Berreth told him that Kelsey didn't discuss relationship problems with her. This is what I told you. She said that Kelsey planned to go out to dinner with Patrick and her daughter for Thanksgiving. But she said that Kelsey wanted a dip recipe if something happened. According to Slater, Sheryl and Kelsey called her back at 9:17. According to Slater, Sheryl said that Kelsey called her back at 9:17 a.m. to discuss Christmas plans, but there was no mention of travel to Idaho or Washington. Slater said Sheryl told him that she received a text from Kelsey's phone on the evening of November 22nd. Said that Kelsey got her gun back and she felt safe with Frazee. Okay, how much you want to bet this is sent by Frazee, right? Slater said Frazee took the gun from Kelsey sometime around New Year's Day. According to Slater's testimony, Sheryl Berreth said Frazee took it from Berreth because she put it to her head when they had an argument about finances. Slater said CBI agents met with Berreth's supervisor at DAS Aviation. The supervisor told authorities that he received a text from Kelsey Berreth's phone on November 25th. and she wouldn't be at work, and she was going out of town to visit her grandmother. Slater said Sheryl Berreth was unaware of any trips to Washington, which is where Berreth's grandmother lives. Slater also said that Sheryl found it strange that she would leave without telling her about it. Slater also said that Bharath had dinner with a co-worker who wasn't named in the days before the Thanksgiving holiday. Slater and DAS Aviation's HR director, Jennifer Banks, told him that she talked with Frazee after Bharath's disappearance. Slater said Banks told him that Frazee said Bharath dropped their daughter off and said she didn't want anything to do with him anymore. Addressing Frazee's accusations of are you doing crazy stuff?
No.
Okay, close the door, please. Addressing Frazee's accusation of Kelsey Berreth's alcohol and drug problems, Slater said Berreth went to Nedley Clinic in August 2018. Slater said that center doesn't address drug or alcohol addiction, but only depression and anxiety issues. So he's lying. He's trying to tie something in about her getting help for depression, which could be postpartum depression based on having the baby and whatnot, or it could be other issues, right, that dealing with those psychos. And she was going for help, but you see they've got to spin it around for their own, sounds like another family we know. Okay, so Slater said Kelsey's parents texted him on December 6th, and they said they thought they found blood in a toilet in the bathroom, on her television, and on a doorknob inside. Slater was shown exhibits showing photos of the blood sent to him by Clint Berreth. Sheryl Berreth told Slater that she also noticed that a bathroom mat was missing. Slater said CBI agents in Woodland Park police returned to Berreth's townhome on December 6th, and they tested the bathroom using a chemical that reacts with blood and can't be seen with the naked eye. Investigators said they found blood on the toilet, the outside of the bathtub, the bottom of the trash can, on the floor, on the vanity, on a wall near the toilet, and on hinges in the bathroom. Slater and investigators collected swabs of Sheryl and Clint Berreth, and they took a toothbrush, mouthguard, and a bottle nipple from Kelsey's bathroom. They said the blood returned with a high number, meaning investigators believe Kelsey Berreth's blood was found in that bathroom. Slater said he called Frazee, who said he was with his brother Sean running errands in Colorado Springs. Slater said CBI agents met him at Five Guys restaurant in Colorado, where they took Frazee's phone. Slater said Frazee wanted to talk with a lawyer before talking with law enforcement. Slater said they found Frazee called his mother at 4:24 p.m. on November 22nd, and they determined that the phone pinged off a tower in Woodland Park near Berreth's townhome. Slater then said Frazee called an Idaho number at 4:37, and that pinged off the same tower. So he made calls to his mother and to Krystal on November 22nd, right after each other, from right around the townhome or in the townhome. Slater said records show he received a call from the same number, that one pinged off of the tower in Divide, located between Woodland Park and Frazee's property in Florissant. Slater said that it's his understanding that Berreth's and Frazee's phone were near each other. They both moved west from Woodland Park towards Florissant and Cripple Creek. The FBI first contacted Krystal Kenney on December 14th, and Slater said she didn't disclose her relationship to Frazee with agents. She called it a business relationship that began in 2006. It was a business relationship. The business of being deceptive. According to testimony from Slater, Kenney said she came to Colorado on the weekend after Thanksgiving to meet with Frazee about a horse. She came to Colorado to meet with him about a horse. Too bad it wasn't a talking horse. Could tell us what happened, like Mr. Ed, but it's not the truth anyway, so. A horse of a lie. Horse of another color. Whatever, just a lie. So she says she came to talk with him about a horse. Slater said Kenney claimed she didn't know who Kelsey Berreth was. Yeah, no, Kelsey Berreth? Yeah. Was she pulling an NK? Oh, I didn't know he was married. Kelsey? Yeah, you know, the woman that was murdered and then you cleaned up her whole apartment. Whose apartment do you think that was? Slater eventually said he visited her in Idaho on December 18th, and she was arrested that day in Twin Falls, Idaho, to provide DNA samples to investigators. Slater said Kenney traveled to Boise, Idaho, with her aunt to talk with an attorney. This is the same aunt that drove her over there to commit a murder. She then agreed to talk with authorities on December 20th. The interview happened in Colorado Springs. Slater said Kenney and Frazee reconnected in October of 2017. And her relationship with Frazee started when she came to Colorado in March of 2018. But he was her first love. Isn't he her first love? You mean she had a first love after she was married? See, when you lie, it just... Kenney told investigators she didn't know about Kelsey Berreth or Kaylee Berreth at the time. Maybe she thought it was Patrick's little sister, that Ma Frazee had one of those in vitro things. I don't know, how old is Ma Frazee? She's got to be close to 70, right? My husband said there was somebody the other day, 71 or something, that had a baby or something. I don't know what the heck it was. But what did she never saw the kid? She didn't. It's a lie anyway. It's just a lie. It's so infuriating. It's just a lie. Whatever. Lies. Okay. Slater said that Kenney learned about Kaylee in July and bought her a t-shirt and toys when she visited. Slater said that's when she found out about Kelsey. She told Slater Frazee didn't want to talk about his relationship. Okay, she found out about Kelsey. What did she think they had done? Yeah, we found her on the side of the road, this little girl. I don't know, we couldn't find her parents. We put some signs out there, but Mom's really attached to her. She said, you know, she has another chance to do a little better with the kids, and she has a lot of time now that she's in retirement, and she's really enjoying her time here. What did this, I mean, to even... Where does the lie even have any rational sense? And then here's a t-shirt and some toys. Oh, by the way, yeah, that story we told you that we found her on the road. And for anybody that's watching, because people say this to me, like, what part am I embellishing? That part about finding the girl on the side of the road, I was extrapolating because of the sheer lunacy of the claim that I read. So it just leads me to extrapolate, to try to even fathom what she could have been told, to even try to believe the lie she just told, if that makes sense to you. So that's when I extrapolate or put a little mock situation in there. Okay? Alright. I'm probably going to say, like, disclaimer, this is a mock situation now. Alright, let's go back to... that's when she was told about Kelsey when she brought the toys, and she told Slater Frazee didn't want to talk about his relationship with Bharath. I don't want to talk about it. Yep, no, I don't want to talk about... I said I don't want to talk about his Michael Corleone. Enough! Don't you ask me about my relationship. Don't you do it. All right, this one time you can do it. Okay, a mistake there. But it says Slater, it should be Slater said Kenney told him that Frazee told her he thought Kelsey Berreth was abusive towards their daughter, and Slater and his investigation revealed no evidence of child abuse from Kelsey Berreth, and then there's somewhere else where she says she didn't believe it. According to Slater's testimony, Kenney said that Frazee told her that he was concerned Berreth was going to harm Kelsey Berreth. Krystal said Frazee told her that he wanted to get rid of Kelsey. Slater and Kenney believed that statement meant he wants to kill Bharath, that he's going to kill Bharath. Kenney said that Frazee suggested, this is from Slater saying this, Kenney said that Frazee suggested poisoning a caramel macchiato from Starbucks with an Ambien and other drugs to kill Kelsey Berreth. She carried, Krystal, some of those drugs as a nurse. No, she's not carrying some of those drugs as a nurse because she's not administering aid on the side of the street. He's making it sound like this goes along with her job. Is she stealing these medications from patients in the hospital? Does she have an addiction to benzos or narcotics? What's going on here? She carries them as a nurse. I had a contractor that told me that too, that his wife, who was a nurse, was giving him shots of all kinds of things, and they had different. And I said to my husband, something is up here, and boy, something was. That's another story. Okay, let's go. Oops. I'd open to Words with Friends. I'm not playing Words with Friends now. Don't be ridiculous. Okay. Kenney said that Frazee suggested poisoning a caramel macchiato from Starbucks with Ambien and other drugs to kill Kelsey Berreth because Krystal carried some of those drugs as a nurse. He said she went to the Starbucks and drove to Berreth's townhome on September 23rd, and that's when Kenney told Slater she gave her the coffee, which she told investigators wasn't drugged. Slater said Kenney told him she told Bharath that she was a neighbor and she wanted to thank Bharath for finding her dogs. But we don't hear anything about these dogs. I'm trying to find things about these dogs and I can't find it. So I guess there was some kind of dog thing where maybe they got a dog too, one of his dogs, or it couldn't be one of his. Maybe he went to it. Who knows? Who's the one that worked at a pet shop? Oh, that was in that other case, that other murder case. Okay. So Slater said Kenney told him that she didn't drug the drink because she didn't want to hurt her. No. Just kill her. Kenney said she texted Frazee afterwards, and I added that in, okay? That was my own exasperation because why did she agree to do this in the first place if she... Okay. It should be evident. You know, so if it's not evident, then maybe this is not the right channel. I don't know. Okay. Kenney said that she texted Frazee afterwards. Kenney told Slater that Frazee was angry. And she said Frazee sent her an apology text later. According to Slater, Frazee told Kenney that there'd be another chance. I told you he was going to give her another chance. Okay? Now, the court took a recess until 1:30 Mountain Time. Court back in session. Judge says they talked about admitting Sheila Frazee as a witness. She's exercising her right to remain silent at the advisement of counsel. The state wants to ask Sheila about the phone call on November 22nd from Patrick, witnessing the burn and more, the burns I told you she had in her hands, right? The judge reviewed the case law citations, and he says, this is not the time or place for Sheila's testimony. Judge Sells says, this is like tongue twister. Sells says he thinks the evidence the state seeks from Sheila can be presented from other witnesses, and she is still sequestered, so she is not allowed in the courtroom. CBI agent Slater retakes the stand. The horse trailer Starbucks incident was November 23rd. Slater says Frazee was angry but told Kenney she had another chance on October 15th. Kenney, Slater says, Kenney drove to Kelsey's home. She got out of the car, but she didn't take a rod. Okay? This is the rod incident I told you about. She heard a dog barking, got in her car, and drove to Frazee's residence and left the rod at the gate of his home. Okay, so she wasn't with the aunt. The aunt came in the car. Hold on, maybe it's the third time. Why did she help? They asked. I guess Slater's saying this, and Kenney said she wanted to please Frazee. She wanted to please him, and she feared retaliatory action toward her own child from Frazee per Slater. Slater said he believes Kenney left the pipe at the Frazee residence on October 16th, and per Slater, Sheila Frazee found the pipe and asked Patrick, "Why is this here?" Kenney told Frazee she just couldn't do it. She was scared, per Slater. Again, per Slater, Frazee told Kenney she had another chance to get rid of Kelsey. Give her the third chance there. This time, he suggested a baseball bat, Slater said. Kenney was told to start swinging when Kelsey comes home after an exchange of the baby. Slater said Kenney came back about a week after the October 15th incident. She bought a bat from home. It's nice that she brought a bat from home. Kenney realized she couldn't do it. She left the property and says she drove past Kelsey to Frazee's residence. I know her aunt drove her one time. I read that somewhere already. At that point, Slater says Kenney saw Frazee as being angry again. So here, guys, she's so scared of this guy, right? She's so scared of this guy. She's so petrified of this guy. But she doesn't do what he tells her to do 3 times, and he just gives her another chance. He didn't okay, that's gonna beat the crap out of you first. Okay, so you're going to get this right the next time. And now you're going to do it. This is what I mean. He's just giving her another chance. Don't worry. He texts her and I'm sorry. And this is something that this is someone you're so terribly scared of. He texted you and I'm sorry and I'm going to give you another chance. And then when you didn't do it the second time, he's going to give you another chance. And then when you didn't do it the third time, I mean, he didn't even break your finger or your toe there, Krystal. What are you scared of? It's not jiving, honey. You know, there's those Lifetime movies that make it look a little more realistic where they put like rocks or something in a bag and they beat themselves with it. Wow. Okay. So, where are we? At that point, Slater says Kenney saw Frazee as being angry again. If you can't do it, I'm going to have to, Slater says, which he attributed to Frazee saying, and Slater thought that was around October 23rd. So on November 3rd, Kenney was with her family in Reno, when Frazee calls again with another opportunity. So she says she looked into airfare, but she couldn't do it. So I'm at Vegas and they're having the buffet and we really wanted to go to that. Plus the airfare is, I don't know, they're kind of high. Is your mom paying for this? Okay. I don't know. And then I've got to go, I can't even get a nonstop, and the only airline that has a ticket doesn't even have Wi-Fi. I'm not doing that because I'm not going to sit on that plane without Wi-Fi. I'm just not looking good. Okay, and then to the one person that's going to ask me the part of the excuses of why she couldn't go after she looked into the airline, that's my embellishment. And again, if you don't like a little improv, probably not the right channel. You're probably going to get very annoyed with me very, very quickly. But we need a little bit of the improv because this is a lot of very dark stuff that we deal with here. We don't have a little bit of levity in between. We'll just, then people will really wonder about us. So you have to have those little moments of levity somehow to get through all of this dark, 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 dark stuff, right? On November 3rd, Kenney was with her family in Reno when Frazee called again with another opportunity, and it makes it sound like it's a business deal or an MLM kind of deal, a network marketing deal. I've got a LuLaRoe opportunity for you with another opportunity. What is that, a business? No, that's not a business opportunity. What was it? It was an opportunity to murder someone, to murder the mother of his child. Oh, that opportunity. So he's just calling with an opportunity, as if it's a stock option or something. So she tells Slater she looked into the airfare but decided she couldn't do it, can't swing that, whatever. Frazee didn't reach out to Kenney again until November 21st. Frazee asked what she was doing for Thanksgiving. Kenney, in hindsight, interpreted this as Frazee finding a way to make sure she couldn't get out of it this time. So now, he asked her what she's doing for Thanksgiving. She has kids with another man, right? She has kids with Chad. She's got an aunt somewhere. Couldn't she have said, I have plans for Thanksgiving? How, Krystal, pray tell, is that him making sure you can't get out of it this time? If you don't accept the invitation, go to the police and say, take your friend up on her offer to speak to the lawyers over there that have been willing to speak with you. Go to the police, be a hero, not an accomplice. Caught, not scared, hashtag. Okay. All right, so let's go to, Kenney said she couldn't come out right away, realizing what happened. Okay, Slater said, Frazee said, just effing talk. He made it clear to Kenney that she needed to bring things with her to clean up. Slater said Kenney exchanged her car with her friend Megan on November 23rd. It's a Volkswagen Passat with expired plates. She left around 6:30 p.m. that day, arriving around 7:30 a.m. on November 24th. Okay, so you're going there to clean stuff up. Trying not to get involved. But you're bringing the cleaners. You're going anyway. You're already at your house. You could call the police. Okay. Even if you think he's already done it, you could do it now so they'd have the evidence to convict him and do something, right? Even after you didn't do it, but you still continued to do the wrong thing, Krystal. So now you're going down with your cleaners. You've had enough foresight to realize you can't bring your vehicle down there, so you borrow your friend's. Okay, and I wonder if this is the same friend, your ride or die friend, that you told this to, who, if I had a friend, and said to me, hey, this guy that I'm seeing, he asked me to kill the mother of his child, his baby mama. And then I'm like, hey, you should really come talk to my bosses at the law office that I work in, because this isn't good there. It's not good there, Krystal. And then Krystal's like, oh, then I talk to the people at my law office. She tells me, and I say, oh, I'm really troubled with this. So the next day I go to my law office where I work, and I talk to the lawyers, and I tell them this, and they're like, you better get her right in here. And I'm like, oh, okay, she's going to like this. She's going to get some advice, going to get safe, and this poor woman's not going to lose her life and all this. And I tell her, and then she's like, oh, no, Carolyn, it's all, no. I think that was just a joke or whatever she tells me, blows me off. But then a few weeks later, she comes to me and she's like, hey, you know that car you have in the driveway, the one with the expired plates? Can I just take that for the weekend? I'll bring it back shortly. Probably, just right after Thanksgiving weekend, I'll bring it back up. Yep. Okay. And I'm just going to, but it has expired plate. What if no, it's fine. It's fine. That's really, it's not fun. You've expired, it doesn't have insurance. You're going to take, okay. All right. And then I'm not going to think that somehow it's connected to what she told me. This isn't connected at all to what you told me about someone wanting you to murder their baby mama? No, don't be ridiculous. No, this is just, no. I see where you could think that. Look, Carolyn, I get where you're coming from. I know it sounds odd. It sounds so odd after I told you that, but it really isn't. It really isn't. And then, yeah, but I'm gonna get in trouble because that's me. I own that car and doesn't have insurance, and then you're gonna take it and I'm gonna get in trouble. And no, you're not gonna get in any trouble. Don't worry, I'll do something. You think I'm not, if you get in trouble, really? Just, yeah, I'm telling you, I'll drive it at night. I don't know, I'll conceal the license plate. Maybe I'll take license plate. I'm not saying what I'm going to do. You're not going to, I guarantee you. Look, you know what? If I get in trouble, I am going to buy you whatever designer bag you want. And I'm not going to want to do that. So I'm going to make very certain I don't get in any trouble. Sure? Yeah. All right. Then, if this woman's married, what happened to the car in the truck? Oh, Krystal came and took that. She took that. It's got expired plates on it. You understand you're going to get in a lot of trouble? Where is she taking the car? This could be a lot of trouble. You don't think this has anything to do with what she told you about that person wanting her to kill his baby mama? No, she said that. She said that was over. She's like, that was like a joke or something. So what is she? Doesn't she have a car? She has a vehicle? She's a nurse. She must get paid well. Yeah, she just can't use it right now. She does have. So she wants to take that vehicle that we have over there without insurance, and she's willing to risk that. But you're the one but she's gonna buy me a designer handbag. And where's she going with this car? I'm sure it's nowhere far. She's probably going to Sonic. You know how Krystal loves Sonic and the shakes and stuff after dark. This is not a good idea. This is not a good idea. This is the kind of thing that I'm going to be saying, I told you so, and you always get us into this crap. Okay? This friend, I told you from the beginning, she's not a good friend. She says I'm her ride or die. And I don't know, there was this meme going around that, if my best friend, meaning her, is saying she's mad at somebody, that we're going to walk along side by side chanting, somebody's going to get it, somebody's going to get it. And then there's that other meme that says that I'm going to be over there with the shovel and I don't know, with duct tape. Okay, you're not serious about this now. You're talking about a meme, okay? This woman sounds unhinged, okay, that she seriously did this and then was just like, okay, I'm kidding. And now she's taking our car that doesn't have insurance and has expired plates. And crap, my name is on the title. It's not even your name on the title. She already gone? Yeah, she's already gone. She's probably just going to be coming back from Sonic soon. I don't know, okay? But don't be mad. Don't be like that. Okay. So, yeah. This just gets crazier and crazier, doesn't it? Okay. So, Slater said Kenney exchanged her car with her friend. But I think that other friend was Michelle. They're saying Megan, so this is another one. Poor unsuspecting soul, maybe a partner in crime, because birds of a feather, they flock together, who knows. It's a Volkswagen Passat with expired plates. She left about 6:30 p.m. that day, arriving at 7:30 a.m. on the 24th. So she left Idaho at 6:30 p.m. She arrived over there at 7:30 a.m. She brought with her just a few things, like a box of gloves, a hairnet, trash bags, bleach, a white bodysuit, like a hazmat suit, to keep things off her person, booties, shoe covers, in case you... She brought these supplies from home, and Slater says because she had them from painting her home. Going room by room, starting in the living room, Frazee told Kenney to grab a sweater, look for a tooth in the vent, and clean up Kaylee's toys that are covered in blood. Kenney collected a stuffed animal, tin foil on top of cinnamon rolls, some of Kaylee's toys, some cookie cutters that Frazee told her to clean. She put those in trash bags along with curtains, pillows, a Bible with blood on it, and discarded those items. Slater said after Kenney collected the items, she put some towels in the washing machine and she ran out of trash bags and used 4 bags from inside Bharath's home. She also found bloody baby wipes, suggesting Frazee tried to clean up, and discarded them. Slater said Kenney used some OxyClean and Windex from inside Bharath's home, and she wiped down windows, the television, she did tabletops, underneath chairs, the kitchen, the bathroom, the floors, the stairs. Per Slater, Kenney said she purposely left blood spatter in certain areas of the house. That included spots on the fireplace, a switch near the fireplace, the baby gate that was leaning on the wall that leads upstairs. Why did she do that? She told Slater she wanted police to find her soon. Yeah. Okay. Kenney did find a tooth but threw it away. When she was done, she put the trash bags out front, got her car, picked up some trash before going to Sonic. Frazee essentially blindfolded Kelsey with the sweater. It was tied into a knot, and Kenney found it when she was cleaning up. Per Kenney, Frazee asked if she cleaned up well, and Kenney said she did the best she could. And Frazee said, "You better hope so." Then Frazee said, "You don't know how hard it was to go have Thanksgiving dinner after killing her." Now, Kenney said Frazee put Kelsey in a black tote. He set that tote on the ground, right where that dog hit, next to her Toyota Corolla, Kelsey's Toyota Corolla, before putting it into the back of his truck, and he transported that to a ranch called Dash Ranch in Fremont County. Frazee wanted Kenney to take the remains to Idaho. Kenney refused, and Frazee said, "We're finishing this." So at Frazee's direction, Kenney texts Sheryl Berreth from Kelsey's phone saying she'd call her tomorrow. Sheila Frazee had Kaylee. This is all on November 24th, and after that text, Kenney met Patrick at the Florissant Conoco gas station to go to the Nash property. Kenney says Frazee backed the truck up to a large red barn, and Frazee per Kenney used a ladder to put Kelsey Berreth's body near a big haystack. And they took the tote with her gun inside. Kelsey couldn't confirm if Kelsey Berreth was still in the tote. Frazee then pulled a trough and started a large fire with gasoline to burn the tote, Slater said, for Kenney. Kenney said the flames were so high that Sheila Frazee came onto the front porch to look. Kenney also grabbed the trash bags and Kelsey's purse to burn in the fire, and Kelsey recalled seeing a lump in the tote. Again, she wasn't sure if it was Kelsey. She threw the keys, presumably to be Bharath's townhome, into a gorge in Gooding, Idaho. Kenney told investigators about her route back to Twin Falls, and it matches the route of the records. She then burned Kelsey's phone, a burner phone, in her yard. What are you doing, Mom? Mom, what are you doing? Can we come out and roast marshmallows? No, go inside. Just go inside. I'm just burning a phone. Really, think about what someone's state of mind, but this is like Jodi Arias. She was stopped after that horrific homicide, and the officer said she didn't even act the least bit flustered. Meanwhile, like I've told you guys, someone could stop me when I've done nothing wrong and I act like I just killed 10 people back at my house. It's crazy. It's crazy. Okay. So from there, Slater said Kenney took the remnants, and discarded them at the hospital she worked at. Kenney tells police she left her phone on along the drive back so that police could find these little breadcrumbs that she's leaving out for them to find the trail, right? Along the drive back so that police could find her. Kenney said she was instructed by Patrick to text him from Kelsey's phone, "Do you even love me anymore?" and tell her supervisor about a trip to see her grandma. In a conversation with Kenney, Slater said Patrick wanted it to make it look like Kelsey Berreth just went off on her own. That's also why Kenney took Berreth's gun. Now, Slater said Kenney gave investigators the locations of where she had Kelsey's phone on for pings. She gave Kelsey's gun to her high school friend, Mark Pearson. Let's see who I'm going to call. Oh, the classmates website. I haven't talked to Mark in a long time. He may be happy about me giving him a gun. Hi, Mark. Yep, Krystal. How you doing? Good. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just saw you on the classmates. It comes up on the side, and I thought, let me take a little gander. And you came up as one of my suggested friends on my Facebook because, of that. And I just thought, well, I haven't talked to Mark in just forever. Do you want a gun that I have by any chance? No, you don't have to buy. No. Just, do you want a gun by any chance? Because I have a gun and I really don't want to keep it in the house with the kids. So can I just give you this gun? It hasn't been used in a murder or anything. And it's not connected with any type of a murder. It's just, I just want to get rid of the gun. And she said it was her aunt's gun and she wanted to get rid of it. This aunt, and I know that aunt drove her down one of these times, okay, that aunt. It's my aunt's gun. You mean the same aunt that was driving a getaway car for your aunt? Okay, and so this guy takes the gun, and then, okay, so Slater said there was a second interview with Kenney at the Colorado Springs Police Department, and that interview was much shorter, about 90 minutes. And that was after law enforcement went to some sites with Krystal. Frazee, by the way, had his head, they don't mean internet sites, they mean like where the fire took place and everything, like I told you before. Frazee, by the way, kept his head down writing notes while all of this is going on in the courtroom. About the gun, Slater says they were able to track down Mark Pearson and get the gun. Pearson said he got it from Kenney. An alcohol, tobacco, and firearms analysis revealed it is Kelsey Berreth's gun. When interviewing Kenney, Slater says she did not know Berreth's phone also pinged near Grand Junction and Salt Lake, besides Gooding, Idaho. But that's very strange because she said she did that purposely. The sites where investigators and Kenney visited during the second interview were the CSPD, Colorado Springs Police Department, the Nash Ranch, Kelsey's townhome, and back to the Frazee residence on December 21st. More exhibits. Number 9 is a photo of 2 red barns on Nash Ranch. Second is number 10 is a photo of a bale of hay that's distinctly discolored from the other bales. Third is the tractor Slater says Frazee used to move the hay bale. Kenney said on December 20th that Frazee had to climb this large stack and go to the back to grab the tote and plastic bag containing Kelsey's gun. The tractor was used to bring the tote down from the top of the stack, Slater says. They went to Frazee's property first that day. Kenney showed investigators where the burn was. Next exhibit, number 12, is a photo of an aerial view with a pin indicating where the burn area was. Again, these site visits were on December 21st. Slater said Kenney had no difficulty remembering where the burn area was and where the Nash Ranch was. At Frazee's property, Slater said something caught his eye. In Afghanistan, he said he was trained to detect where IEDs, improvised explosive devices, were. He noticed a distinct discoloration in an area that Kenney eventually pointed out as the burn area. The dirt was darker than the nearby dirt. Slater said he didn't see anything charred in the dirt there. He just noticed the discoloration. FBI evidence teams were present. Kenney also pointed out a small red plastic gas can and tote similar to what she said Frazee used to transport Kelsey's body. And in that gas station video with him and Krystal, he was filling up a red gas tank. Later said arson investigator Jerry Meems came to the Frazee property that day, December 21st. They excavated the area, found charred clumps of plastic. A test revealed that there was an accelerant in the debris that melted the plastic and was described as black and clumped into small balls. Slater said a cadaver dog was brought to Nash Ranch eventually and alerted to the specific discolored hay bale when positioned both underneath and above it. State asked if paperwork was seized from the Frazee home regarding custody, and Slater said that they did find that on the first search of the property. It did pertain to Kaylee Berreth and Frazee's daughter. Slater said he believes the paperwork was dated August 2018, but the investigation showed no filings, court proceedings, or anything related to the custody of Kaylee. Back to Berreth's townhouse, Slater said luminol, a substance to detect trace amounts of blood at crime scenes, was used, and it didn't to find DNA, but it didn't react. The CBI later tore out some of the hardwood floor in the living room. Going back on December 21st, Slater said he could see the film residue on hard surfaces like the television, couch, and other tabletops, the same areas Kenney wiped down when she cleaned up. State exhibit enters exhibits 13 through 30, and these are photos taken throughout Kelsey's townhouse. Slater says CBI agents were able to find these areas where blood remained in Berreth's townhouse. This includes the fireplace and nearby wall, light switch. Again, these match Kenney's story. Slater said testing on those samples is not complete. Slater said suspected blood spatter was found underneath some chairs. Remember, she was wiping chairs down. Another photo includes floorboards that had suspected blood spatter between the tongue and grooves. It wasn't visible to investigators until the floor was pulled up. Another quick recess. Okay. Recess ends. Defense is now cross-examining CBI agent Slater. The defense points out Berreth's parents stayed in her townhouse from December 3rd to the 6th, which is not normal as it's considered a crime scene. During questioning, Slater said there was no such evidence visible in the home on a search on December 4th. Slater says a cadaver dog used during the search of the home showed interest in a pair of Kelsey Berreth's underwear and also alerted near her Toyota. The car was searched. Investigators used a chemical process to test for any contents for blood. A sock reacted positively. December 6th, search then processed Kelsey's Berreth's home with more DNA experts. Defense asking specifics about colors in Kelsey's bathroom. Only blood spot visible to the eye was in the toilet, not to be insensitive, but defense points out Kelsey was on her period at that time. Slater confirmed he found tampons in the trash. Defense points out that the DNA of another male was found in Kelsey's sink. Test revealed it wasn't that of Patrick Frazee. Slater said he wasn't involved in the search and processing of Frazee's truck. Defense asks if he was aware no blood or other signs of human decomposition were found inside the truck. Slater said no, but that he believed the cadaver dog wasn't run by the truck. The defense is now focused on Slater's conversation with the Berreths. Defense pointing out Sheryl didn't reach out to Kelsey for about a week between the 25th of November and December 2nd. Conversation now between Frazee and Sheryl. On December 2nd, Sheryl texted him asking him to check in on Kelsey, and Patrick called back with details about Kelsey wanting to go her separate way. Defense asked Slater if Frazee alluded to not wanting to give Kelsey her gun back. Slater confirms. Now shifting to cell phone data, defense asks if Slater knew anything about number of cell towers in the area. Slater says he does not. Defense asks if Slater was the one to ask Frazee to meet on December 4th when they eventually met in Colorado Springs. Slater said no, it was Agent Torres, and that there was an agreement to meet at a Five Guys restaurant. Lots of food references in this one. In that meeting, the defense said Patrick talked to his brother Sean before talking to investigators, and he said that he'd give a statement but wanted to talk to an attorney. talking about Kelsey's admittance to a depression clinic. Kelsey was diagnosed with severe non-suicidal depression. Defense asked if she lied, knowing she told Dosh she had chronic fatigue. Slater said no, they were related. Defense asking if Slater was involved in the discussion with Chad Lee, Krystal's estranged husband. The defense said Lee didn't know much about Frazee. Same goes for Krystal's dad, who didn't notice anything different on Thanksgiving Day when he was with Krystal. Defense now asking about Krystal's aunt, Christy. Christy was with Krystal during her trip to Vegas. Oh, there girls were in Vegas. Didn't notice odd behavior. Christy, per Slater, was unaware of Krystal's relationship with Frazee or Berreth. I know I read somewhere that she took her in a car somewhere. Defense now moving to Krystal Kenney's interview on December 14th in Las Vegas. She denied knowing about Krystal Berreth and denied having a personal relationship with Frazee. Liar. At some point, investigators bring up the ping from Kelsey's phone in Idaho, and Kenney says she didn't know, though she wanted to leave a trail. Remember, guys? Kenney also refused to release her phone records at that point, okay, thwarting an investigation for somebody that's so careful to leave a trail because she wanted Kelsey to be found, but when they want her phone records, she doesn't want to give them to them. Yes, and we are then accused of saying this innocent person is lying when it's right here in black and white that she's lying. Investigators then went to Kenney's home on December 18 with proof she lied to the FBI and about her knowledge of what happened. And Kenney wouldn't speak without her attorney. She lawyered that right up. Better call Saul. And about things that happened on December 20th after reaching an agreement with the DA's office about her charges. It was Krystal who tried establishing rapport and gave Bharath the number to her burner phone on September 23rd. When she visited her, Krystal destroyed that burner phone, actually got another burner phone before her October 15th visit to Kelsey's home. Defense and Slater agree. Slater confirming Kenney bought an aluminum bat the third time, which he agrees with the defense was the closest she came to committing the crime. Defense points out she didn't once warn Kelsey Berreth about what's happening. Okay. Defense points out that Kenney said she didn't think Kelsey was abusing Kaylee, but still drove to Kelsey's townhome on multiple occasions to try to kill Kelsey Berreth. Defense adds Kenney used towels to cover a window above the sink, which is on the same wall as the front wall to the Berreth townhome. Defense going through Kenney's cleanup efforts now. Frazee is staring straight ahead, sometimes blinking his eyes, turning them towards Agent Slater. Defense acknowledges Kenney deliberately throwing off law enforcement with the cell phone. Slater said that was at Frazee's direction. Defense asking about Kenney's view of Frazee. Slater said Frazee was Krystal's first love and that she still loved him. These were taken from interviews with her. After that, defense asking neighbors, especially ones whose surveillance was submitted, if they noticed anything out of the ordinary around November 22nd. The defense asks if there's footage of Frazee taking a big tote from the home, entering with a bat, or Kenney entering, and Slater said no. There was no reported sightings of Frazee at Nash Ranch between November 22nd to the 24th. Slater said no. Defense ends questioning, the state now asking more. State asks about Kenney's details given regarding her cleaning up of Bharath's townhome. Slater said that she was very detailed and that it's obvious Krystal had been inside of the townhouse. State reiterates that testing of certain possible blood spots, which Kenney pointed out is not yet complete, but Slater touts his 30 years in law enforcement to say he believes those spots are indeed blood. State asking Slater about Michelle Stein. This is her ride or die, I think that's, of Krystal, is a former paralegal in Idaho. Michelle, per Slater, was told of what was happening by Kenney, and Kenney said she's done with Patrick. Slater said Michelle told Kenney she needed to tell someone. Regarding the treatment of the crime scene, State asks if it was treated fairly. Slater said yes. Questioning done. Okay, Steigerwald now asking the court to review the third count, felony murder tied to robbery, and suggests the judge review evidence presented today to toss that out. State replies to the sequence of events is irrelevant. Defense argued that the theft took place after the alleged murder. Again, state says it doesn't matter. Defense now citing case law. Judge citing statutes for proof evident presumption guest hearing, says the people have established probable cause in both the first degree murder counts, same for all 3 solicitation accounts. Judge now addressing motions to unseal the arrest affidavit. Defense still wants it sealed and would like to talk to the media with the defense before requesting further motions. DA Dan May says he has no objection to releasing any of the search or arrest warrants after talking with law enforcement. May says there were 32 such warrants in conversation with the defense. Okay. Defense wants a hearing to unseal the entire docket. Judge ruled to release the arrest warrant but deferred judgment on the entire docket at 4:41 p.m. Should be released later today or tomorrow. They need to redact. 4:43, Judge Sells admits he hasn't reviewed all those search warrants, and so he will not release them yet. And then at 4:46, the state was now bringing up its motion for consumptive testing, first brought back on December 31st. Defense says it's not ready to address that. Judge set that for a separate legal argument hearing on March 4th at 8:30. Defense asked court to amend order limiting contact from Patrick Frazee to Kaylee Frazee. They're asking for the court to address it moving forward. Judge agrees, and that's all for today. I want to get this out here before it's not timely anymore, so I'm not going to go through questions and everything, plus my kids are going crazy, and I've got to get them under control and in bed because they've had their time on Fortnite for right now, and that's it. We've already done homework and everything before this, but anyway, I will maybe be back for some questions and answers, or maybe do that in the next video. I want to get this out to you guys, so I will do that, get my kids settled, and we'll see. All right? Have a good one, guys. Make sure you're putting questions in the question link. It's going to all be in the video description. Take care. Bye-bye.